Top 5 Baylor spring game observations for the defense. We're fair and balanced here. We can't just do one side.
Well, it'd be nice. I mean, it's the three-part of a team: offense, defense, special teams.
Well, I can't tell you much about the special teams because they barely did any of that during the time. So it would be tough for me to go on and tell you that, hey, the special teams did A, B, or C, because I didn't see them kick a couple times, but they never punted.
No returns.
Nothing like that. So my observations of the special teams would be, I mean, I saw them out there. They were there, but I don't know what they were doing. All right, number 5. The defense is behind the offense right now, which I don't know if I ever expected from a Dave Aranda team, but it kind of happened right now. That doesn't mean to say that's going to be the case when the season kicks off, but right now the defense is behind the offense.
I would agree. And I don't know what that's saying, because the offense is not like they were like dynamic and spectacular, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of work to do on that side. They probably just don't know who they are yet over there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty clear the offense is ahead of the pack right now. I think I've said it a few times on the podcast today. And, I don't know how much of a separation that they have or an advantage that they have, but, I've definitely placed the offense at the pole position as far as ranking the units right now.
Yeah. Number 4, someone needs to step up and be a difference maker. We don't know who that is yet. And that's part of the thing that makes them a little bit behind the offense. On the offense, you can pick out a couple guys who can do that. In Monterey Baldwin, and I do think Richard Reese and maybe even Dominic Richardson to some degree. You've got those guys that can make big plays. I don't know who that is on the defense, and I don't think they do yet either.
I think Mike Smith, I like what I saw, the the season transfer from Liberty. Seemed like he was all over the place. And I still think Matt Jones, again, dynamic, like all Big 12, I don't know, but I think those two guys are where you can start.
Yeah, I think Garmin Randolph could potentially be that guy, but he's got to be available and not be in trouble. Gabe Hall could potentially be that guy, but I don't know. I think that they've shown flashes of that, but they've not quite fully developed into that, and now it's their last chance, basically. Now they sort of have to. Those would be a couple of just names over the last few seasons that have contributed in major ways, but maybe haven't taken over. But I don't see anybody in the secondary right now. Don't see maybe a Mike Smith at linebacker or Matt Jones, but there's no Jalen Petrie, which that goes without saying, because they're not going to have a guy like that every year necessarily. But there's not even a JT Woods or there's not an Apu, although you can argue that he wasn't as good as he ultimately could have been in his final year. But, there's not a well-known difference-making guy that they really have to – opposing offenses have to plan for right now.
Number 3, secondary is better than expected. That did surprise me, that they were a little bit better in the secondary. I still think they're going to add a transfer in that department, but maybe 2. But I don't think that they are I was not as desperate times as I maybe foresaw.
Yeah, I mean, they were better than expected, but it was a spring game. So I don't put a ton of stock into it. I do think that you can take something out of it, but I still have my questions about whether that's what we're going to see week in and week out next season when they're suddenly covering, the UT receivers. That's going to be a problem for everybody, even the established secondaries, some of these offenses around the Big 12. But, yeah, I mean, they looked better than expected, as the title states.
Number 2, the pass rush really needs to improve, and that's why Byron Vaughns is coming in. That's why I'm sure that they'll probably another portal addition that could be coming will probably be someone who can get after the quarterback. But that is, and look, the best teams in the country, how you win conference championships and beyond is by getting to the quarterback. It's
making them uncomfortable.
Yes, you can make up for a lot of things when you have guys in the quarterback's face. You can make up for a secondary that maybe is not what you want it to be. You can make up for maybe an overall defense that's not great as far as keeping people out of the end zone all that much. But if you can have a couple guys who can get back to the quarterback and make those plays in key spots, and there is so much parity in college sports right now, in college football, that those 2 or 3 sacks you can get a game can be the ones that change it. Don't get that first down, make them punt, and then you've got the possession. And look, the clock's going to be moving a little faster now. Yeah. So those become even more important. So I do think that if they don't get this, then you're going to look for a little bit more of the same, because that's what makes the difference on a defense.
Byron Vaughn's helps out a bit, but beyond that, they need to address it further. Most likely will in the portal, although I don't think they have but a couple of spots maybe to play around with, and I guess that would all depend upon who's available. I mean, and what the ranking of needs is. For all we know, I mean, they could use a linebacker more than I don't know. I don't know where their priorities are, what their exact numbers are, or whatever. But yeah, if you can just add whatever you can add before next season, pass rush would be right up there near the top.
Yep. And number 1, portal shopping is needed. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Of course, that's everybody this time of year, some more than others. Some teams can afford to lose some guys into the portal and kind of reshape their roster going after some different spots. But, they need to get in a couple more impact guys in the portal. I think to get them over the hump from last year. Yeah,
I think they need like 3 to 5, and I don't know if they're going to. If they're looking,
they might have 5 spots.
I don't know. I mean, again, I saw something Grayson wrote earlier. I'm not sure if he brought this up, Craig, with you in the Bearcast, but he doesn't see much attrition with the current roster scholarships that might open it up for you to be able to go out and get much in the portal in the first place. I mean, if no one's leaving, what do you do?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Those guys did leave. 10 of them left this offseason. There's only so many. This isn't Colorado, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where the rest of it comes from, but 10 guys have left. So that's I don't think that's nothing. I mean, that's a pretty good trimming.
No, that's a huge chunk after 12 and 2.
That's a pretty good trimming of your roster after 6 and 7.
Yeah.
12 and 2 was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I was saying, is it compared to what they did when you win? You were 12 and 2. Everyone's happy. You lose a not even a handful this year. Yeah, you lost a chunk for a variety of reasons. Some forced out, some because they're disgruntled, and some because they are realistic.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how much more can really be expected. And there doesn't seem to be a ton of logical candidates, as you mentioned, or passed along from Grayson. I agree. I don't know where that comes from. You can't force guys to do it either, and I don't think you want to get into that practice, even if that's how it's being done clearly elsewhere. So, we'll see how that goes. But, no, I can't think of any guys who are just like, yeah, absolutely, that guy's going to move on here in the next few weeks. I don't know even where to start looking, quite frankly, because it's not like everybody's locked down starting roles and playing time, and there's no room. Like, if you're a receiver, do you think you're going to play or not play next year? I mean, if you're not playing, that's entirely on you at this point. Absolutely. If you're a defensive back and you're not playing, that's entirely on you at this point.
Because there's opportunities there.
Yeah, there's nobody that's there's no, like I said, star that's like, they didn't even have to settle the quarterback yet. I mean, nothing's really settled. The running back position, like 4 different guys could be the starter on any given Saturday. So there's no lack of opportunities, but there are a lack of spots. And so, if guys do move on, it'll be interesting to see who and how many of them.
All right, Paul, very well done.